In the winter of 2024, I started trying to contact them via email. I previously used the voice how disruptive it was and received no response. I started calling the number on their website also, and also received no response. Over the span of time between December and February, I tried to contact them in some form every time the siren would sound, over 20 times, with increasingly distressing voicemails, because I was not getting a response, and this thing was very much so affecting my life. I started logging their calls, and I noticed it was getting even rarer to see the trucks leave the Walker station. In some calls, no one would show up at all, the siren would still sound. The only way I was able to get somebody to call me back was to go over there after they were done with the call, corner one of their line members, and tell them face to face, I need to talk to somebody about the use of the siren. Shortly after, I received a call from Adam Baker. I let him know the issue. We had a good conversation about the topic, and he said he'll see what he can do. Shut off again. Wouldn't sound for their calls. In August of 2025, Greg, now on the commission of the fire district, came to my door to say he was being a good neighbor and to tell me that the siren was back on. It was going to sound for every one of their calls. There was nothing I can do about it, so don't call. I tried to voice my opposition to this, but Greg just said there's nothing I can do about it. You bought a house next to a fire department. Although I feel its use is personal, I decided to bring the complaint in an official manner. I logged their calls for the month of August and attended the first commissioners meeting after turning it back on. I voiced my concern and presented them with the fact that of the 40 calls the siren sounded for, the trucks at Walker only responded to 10. And I asked if they thought it was excessive sounding the siren 40 times in 30 days. They did not respond. The next week I received a letter from the district more or less saying that they're not going to do anything about the situation, and I responded with a second attempt to point out how irrelevant the use of a siren in 2025 is when each of their members carry an audio pager and a cell phone, and I received no response. The use of the siren, although restricted from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., is still very disruptive to my life. It's 50 feet from my house. It can be heard at my parents' house on 259. I still work on Zoom. I still hear it every time it sounds. My employer has voiced interest in promoting me to a position that would require me to talk more to students on Zoom, but has been hesitant due to the possibility of deafening an entire class when the siren sounds, or having to interrupt the class to wait for it. I'm usually woken up on average 3 or 4 times a week, and my anxiety has just been terrible. I've spoken with some of my neighbors, and they don't like it either. Neighbor myself, Eric, a former member of the department, said that he thought it was stupid they were using it again, and acknowledged that being a commuting employee, it was not nearly as disruptive to him as it was to me being worked from home. I also spoke to the pastor of the Walker Baptist Church, Nick, who also said that it was disruptive to his services in schools, classes, but was hesitant to bring it to the attention of the station because they are emergency services. He pointed out that living next to it and working from home must be hard. The Sunday after speaking to him, it sounded 4 times between 8 a.m. and noon. I've also contacted Senator Orrick's office and attempted to get any assistance in this situation. My property is now assessed at $160,000, and with the fire department using their siren as frequently as it does, I don't see a way to even give this property away. Who in their right mind would buy it with all this noise? And I'm taxed as if I live in a quiet neighborhood. If I knew that after purchasing this house, I would have to start fighting with my local fire department over the use of a World War II era air raid siren in 2026, I would not have purchased that property. As of today, the siren has sounded 138 times that I have logged since the middle of August. That's more soundings, almost twice as many soundings as I would hear all year before the districts merged. At the last meeting, they stated they received over 700 calls. Since the beginning of the year, the siren has sounded 31 times, the trucks 32 times actually, and the trucks at Walker have only left 5 times. It sounded on Christmas Eve, it sounded on Christmas Day, it sounded on New Year's Eve, and it sounded on New Year's Day. I understand the need to notify volunteers of a call, but in 2026, how can a stationary siren be effective at all? We have radios, cell phones, pagers, and these are not new technologies anymore. Each of their members carries an audio pager and a cell phone. This fills 2 forms of notification that they require, but they still insist on using the siren. The reason they say they need is because the county system is unreliable. I don't understand how they consider the county system unreliable when I'm pretty sure the siren is controlled by a tone system also sent out by the county dispatch system. I would also like to point out that Hilton and Brockport don't have or use sirens anymore. And of the 3 stations here, Walker and Hamlin are the only 2 with sirens at all. Morton doesn't even have it. If Morton is an outlying station of Hamlin, that makes Walker 1 as well. If Morton doesn't have a siren to use, why do they need to use the one at Walker? They're both outlying stations of Hamlet. There's no efforts to build one in Morton, and why would they build a new obsolete system? As, I attended their most recent meeting on the 19th of January and again brought them a list of calls and suggested how they can help fix the situation. I suggested shut off the one at Walker, seeing not even only their own stations have sirens. I suggested maybe have it sound only in the afternoons. And that although it's still disruptive to my job, it would at least help my mental health. I suggested that it sounds only for fire calls and not EMS related calls. And previously I suggested that the system was in place in the past, that each station would get their own calls. Why can't we go back to a station 1, 2, and 3 within the same district type of system? The only response I received was that thank you for your input we were taking no steps to change the situation response that I got in the mail when I attended their first meeting in November. I've been calling each of the stations every time the siren goes off in an attempt to show how excessive its use is, but my voicemail only gets deleted and ignored. I was only able to contact BJ via a third party, not connected to the fire department. BJ has acknowledged this to be a problem, but ultimately the decision is not his to make. It's the head of the commission, the fire district, the commission of the fire district, and he has showed absolute disregard for this entire situation. Any assistance is appreciated. I love my house and I love being a homeowner. I do not want to sell. But I feel that even if I can sell with the loudest, most disruptive neighbors I've ever had to deal with, given the economy, I wouldn't be able to buy another one. My current options are try to live with the siren, continue to hear my tax dollars being used to cause me suffering, or give up the American dream, and I don't think that's right. I also have pictures of the siren in relation to my house, and my house in relation to my parents' house on 259. Thank you.
What are you, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Sure.
What are you actually hoping the town can do?
I don't know. I should call somebody, refer to them that we have a distressed constituent who's literally going out of his mind from this thing. I don't know.
Okay, I'm just wondering,
No,
Senator Ward sent me everything you read earlier, and so
Yeah.
I sent it to the whole town board so that they knew all.
The thing is, I don't know what to do about it, because I've come to the commissioner who makes the decision, and he's just literally disregarded it entirely. It's not a problem.
Okay,
So they told me my next step was to come here.
okay, no, that's fine, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
I mean, the board will listen to more of this, but is there anybody else who'd like to address the board at this time?
I would real quick.
Okay.
I'm Brandon's dad, Don
Okay.
Carter. Real quick, Brandon came to me to stress all about this. I spent 30 years as a paid fireman at the airport. I've been a volunteer at Hilton for 42. I was fire commissioner, and I was also a line officer. When we were building a new firehouse, we built it obviously in a residential neighborhood, which hence where Walker is right now. We decided that for neighbors, we would not put up a new siren. I can say that the reasons they've given Brandon, and he's talked to me about, saying that the county is not, they say the county system isn't reliable, and they need a World War II air raid siren to tell them they're having a call. All systems do have a glitch, but like Brandon said, everybody has a digital pager. Everybody has a phone. They don't use their phones as their secondary, so the word is you fall back on the siren. Most places do not have sirens anymore. Also, Brandon's siren and his house, besides being so close, if you look behind you on your picture there, you'll see that picture of the Hamlin Fire District. That siren is over 100 feet tall. I can tell you from knowing decibels and loud noise and working for the aircraft, that siren is only 50 feet, maybe, tall from my son's house and the surrounding houses. At 75 to 100 decibels, that's deafening. So this is a old piece of equipment that they do not need. They've proven that they don't need it because they had it turned off for a very long time. Why they decided all of a sudden something happened, they don't know. But all of a sudden, they decided to turn it back on. And it's very loud, extremely. 100 decibels is loud.
There's no sleeping through it. I can attest to that.
So I just wanted, he's come to me to help him because obviously I have some experience in the fire service and that's why I'm here helping.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I see our fire chief is here. Do you wish to say anything or no at this time?
I did pull some stats, and I also have been in touch with Brandon, and there's some things that, my house captain here is one that's pretty much in charge of the timing and everything on the siren. All I can say is, if somebody can come to me from the county and say that the 911 system is 100%, I would shut it off. However, last fall, we had a head-on down on the parkway. None of our pagers went off, none of our phones went off. The only way we knew that there was something going on is because of sirens. We run the siren from 7 to 7. As of from 4:25 to 12:25, 279 times in that time frame that siren went off. We ended up a total of 469 calls. These are all what we pulled off our computer. And out of that 279 times, it went off in that time frame, okay? But I did talk to Brandon, and I told him there's some things that, I'm looking into. So that's what we're working at right now. Yes, I do have to go back to the commission and let them know. So, I've only been the fire chief 2 weeks, and I'm getting all the jobs now, so I'm hoping we can work it out and see if I can come to a, and like Brandon said, every little bit would help, and that's what I'm trying to do.
You said 7 AM to 7 PM. I take it that it's on, I take it you work
My classes.
nights and you're trying to sleep then, or?
I usually wake up around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning naturally, because I work at 5 to 9 at night.
Okay. I was just wondering when the siren, when your work schedule receipts,
Totally, I can
and the
understand.
alarm schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my normal classes are from 5 o'clock at night until 9 at night. And usually, you work the job, you can't go to sleep immediately at 9 o'clock. I mean, there's times where I got out of work and tried to go to bed, and just goes off at 7 in the morning, what's the big deal anyway?
I go to bed, I can fall asleep.
I can't.
I'm getting older.
Well, I can't.
Age would do that to you.
I can't, because usually by the time I'm done with all the office and work, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night anyway.
No, I hear what you're saying. I was just saying that, by age, I can do
Yeah,
it.
no, I get you.
But, well, we do have a liaison to the fire department on our board, Mr. Earlbug, and he can also talk to the commission, their next meeting, whenever he goes to all their meetings and.
Well, you were at the last
I
meeting.
was at the last
and
meeting, yes.
After you were at that meeting, I did have a conversation with BJ about that. And he talked about maybe coming to some kind of resolution to get it taken care of. And then this morning, I also called Greg Spear about it to get his side of the story. And, I know the 3 meetings that I've been at, they never answered your question. And, I expressed interest that you deserve some kind of an answer. And they're not discussing it in the meeting, but they do have a workshop coming up, and I'm hoping to go to that and see if we can get some kind of
I
resolution.
hope there is some type of resolution that comes out of this fairly soon, because like I said, it was off for 8 years. The siren works on a tone system set up by the county dispatch as well. They're just as reliable or unreliable with each system that they're complaining of. I've
Why
actually-
was it turned off for 8 years, do you know?
Well, they did the renovation on the building, and they've been doing some stuff inside, so a lot of the panel work was removed, okay? And electrical panels were moved around and what have you. And then they put the timing system back in. Now we have it where we can adjust it to what we need. Okay, and that's what I'm hoping to do, to help Brandon out so he can get some sleep, and I don't know, until I can get 100% from the county. That's our job, Gates, and, being one of my line officers. That's our job, is to protect the people in the town. That's why they pay fire tax, you know, and I wanna make sure, you know, that people are taken care of. And the other thing is, you know, I realize EMS is getting more, but I've been getting a good response. And so I can't guarantee everything's in Walker, you know, in the east side of the town. You know, a lot of it's in the center. So, you
But
know,
for the 8 years when it was up, were you missing calls? I guess that's the part I'm not understanding. So it wasn't on for 8 years, and
with the-
was it a problem then for 8 years?
We used to have the old digital pagers that were a little more reliable, but the county came in and said, they're gone. So they went to these newer pagers that are, you know, they're not as reliable, I would say.
So they went backwards.
They went back.
I guess my only argument is, how come there's not one in Morton? There's no push to put one in Morton, there's no need to put one in Morton. Most of the calls are for the Hamlin station anyway. Why can't we just shut the one off at Walker and use the one in Hamlin? That would completely fix the situation.
Okay, I mean, we have heard all the sides and everything now, but,
Yeah, and
I mean,
I
we
don't,
had,
I don't know what the answer is either, but, you know, I'm gonna continue to
I
see
appreciate
what
it.
the commissioners can do and try and work with you, but I'm not gonna
I
guarantee.
can
It's not our
understand,
call.
I can understand this, I can't give you a guarantee that anything, why I'm here. I'm here to try and get any assistance whatsoever, because
Understood.
so far since August, like I said, 137 times that I've walked, that siren's gone off. So, I mean,
Well, I
that's,
like the fact that you came with suggestions. You didn't just say to
Shut it
the
off.
commission,
Yeah.
you know, turn it off, like you're willing to work with them. It sounds like maybe, you know, if everyone worked together. Viable solution.
well, like I said, we will, like Bill, Mr. Earl, what they will work with the fire department and see what they can come up with. In the end, it is a fire department call. The town of Hammond does not govern the fire
I
department.
understand.
Just to let you know, I mean, we appreciate you coming and voicing your concerns and just let you know that in the end, it is the fire department's call. But Mr. Earl, we'll work with them and see what's going on and see if we can somehow do something.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. I had to take a day off from work to come here too.
Well, thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak? Then at this time, we will close the public forum. Requesting town board resolution to approve the regular town board meeting minutes of January 12th, 2026. So moved.
Hurlbut,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volko, Jaeger,
Yes.
Baz.
Yes. Requesting town board resolution to approve the payment of bills from their respective funds. So moved.
Hurlbut,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volko, Jaeger,
Yes.
Baz.
Yes. Requesting town board resolution to approve the special town board meeting minutes of January 15th, 2026. So moved.
Second.
Hurlbut,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volko, Jaeger,
Yes.
Baz.
Yes. This won't take long. Yeah. Honorable board members, I recommend that your honorable body authorize a contract with CP Ward in the amount of $1,363,536.57 for construction services for the Weiler Road Bridge, New York project over West Creek in the town of Hamlin. The Weiler Road Bridge is a town-owned bridge spanning West Creek in the town of Hamlin. This project involves removing and replacing the existing bridge with a new precast three-sided concrete structure. In addition, new asphalt, pavement, guide rails, bridge railing, and pavement markings will be installed. The current schedule is to start work in spring 2026 and anticipated completion by fall 2026. Major funding will be provided by federal and state funds in the amount of approximately 95% of the project cost, with overall project administration by Monroe County. Note that this is a Bridge New York project and it's programmed for a cost up to $2 million. 95% of the total cost of this amount will be reimbursable. 80% federal share, 15% New York State share. The town will be responsible for a local share of 5% of the total design and construction cost, estimated to be $94,574.
Oh, I just wanted to let you know, it looks like everybody doesn't have the other page.
Oh, I was
Yes.
like, that's not very
Is
long.
that, yeah, in the email, it was more broken
Yeah.
down, right?
So, sorry, there you go, read that. My bad, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that little middle part on that.
Okay. Well, the following four bids were received on January 9, 2026. CP Ward Incorporated, $1,363,536.57. Rochester Earth Incorporated, $1,412,894.32. Keeler Construction Incorporated, $1,479,777.57. Nardozzi Paving and Construction, $1,499,000. Monroe County DOT acting as the contract administrator on behalf of Tommy Hamlin has reviewed these bids, and CP Ward Incorporated has been determined to be the lowest responsible bidder pursuant to General Municipal Law 103. The specific action required is to authorize the town supervisor or his designee to execute a contract with CP Ward Incorporated, 100 West River Road, P.O. Box 900, Scottsville, New York, 14546, in the amount of $1,363,536.57 for construction services for the Wilo Road Bridge project over West Creek in the town of Hammond. This action is a type 2 action pursuant to 6 NYCRR subsection 617.5 C2, replacement, rehabilitation, or reconstruction of a structural facility in kind on the same site and is not subject to further review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. A breakdown of these estimated costs is as follows. Design phase, January 1st, 2024 through January 9th, 2026. Consulting design services, $285,627. Additional design fee, $10,074. Acquisition of easements, $1,225. County project administration, $15,000. Design total, $311,926. Construction phase, January 9th, 2026 through December 31st, 2026. Construction costs, $1,363,536. County project administration, $25,000. Construction inspection, $191,266. Construction total, $1,579,563. I request, yeah, okay, now we can skip over this other stuff. I request town board resolution to accept the bid from CP Ward Incorporated for construction costs for the Wilo Road Bridge, New York project over West Creek in the amount of $1,362,536.57. So moved.
Arbat,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
Wolfo?
Yeah.
Yeager?
Yes.
Haas?
Yes.
And I can get you guys a copy of the
Thank you.
rest. After the
It was
meeting.
in the agenda.
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
agenda
Yeah.
email.
Yeah, but I just didn't have two-sided.
Do we, how does that work? Do we have to pay and then get reimbursed for
Yes.
everything?
Yes, we upfront everything, and then they have to repay us. Which we just started getting checks from them a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think we've gotten over 100,000 net from them.
Pay a lot of engineering.
Right. All right, before we go to discussion, is I see that we have a paper in front of us from our highway superintendent. Do you want to explain this then, sir?
It's just a discussion about repairs that are needed on the stretch of Church Road from Route 19 to Walker Lake Ontario Road. That's the next road that really needs to be repaired, and there's no cheap way to do it, and I don't see any way to do it short of doing the whole thing. The biggest problem with that road is prior to Steve's term as highway superintendent, nobody used tack coat. Layers of blacktop were layered on top of one another. Tack coat glues them together. So when the road starts to fail, water gets between the layers and the layers just start popping apart. Who knows what's happening to that road if you, obviously, half the stretch of the eastbound lane, right in the middle of it lengthwise, is terrible. There's only a couple ways to do it that I see. Either we go in and we take out sections and repave them. My fear is that doing that, we're just waiting for other sections to start coming apart. Or we go in and we grind and we recycle the road. The highway, the top of the paper shows is that we did a 3-inch recycle, that's grinding 3 inches out of the road. You're adding new stone to it, which puts 4 inches of material back down with oil, and then we surface treat it once. And we wait till the following year to surface treat it again. But to do it, I need to pull somewhere between 100,000 out of my repave to do it.
Now, this is the cold recycle, right?
Yep.
So it's not hot like I did down, you grind the road up and lay it right there.
You
You put some stone in front of the thing,
Yep.
chew it up, mix oil back in with it, as if there's a tanker truck hooked onto this machine.
We're actually going to be doing the same process the county, as long as it's expected to. The county's going to be doing this on North Hamlin Road from West Fork all the way to Walker Lake this year, and then Walker Lake to Hamlin Farmington Line next year. It's, I don't want to say it's getting more popular, the process has been around for a long time, but you need to have a major failure to go in and do it.
This is what the state did on 260, isn't
No, kind of, but no,
I can't
because
remember.
they put that back down after they heated it. And then
Oh,
they
that
never
was right.
covered it.
Yes, yes.
So something, if they only took 2 inches off, and
Yes.
put it back down
And then,
hot,
but, yeah, heated it first.
not quite the same thing.
No, if you're gonna put the time and energy into it, do it like the first time.
Yeah, then do the second year.
Because we've never, Steve recycled Ketchum Road. Tom before him recycled Cook Road. In different processes also, because those were what were called a full depth reclamation, where you go in and you grind right into the base and basically build a new road from the bottom up. This isn't quite right, took the street and you get the lifespan out of it that we expected. But I don't see doing that process benefiting us. I think we're throwing good money.
The only other way you can do this cheaper is to shorten up the section.
Yep, so that's, yeah, we talked about that today. My hopes was to be able to do half of it, but the problem is that the bad spot is in the middle of the road, so you'd be doing a good stretch, you'd be doing half the bad stretch, and then leaving the rest of it.
No, but I meant like the length of it, because do you have something planned for next year?
Well, that's what I mean, you can't really split it lengthwise because you'd be halfway through the bad spot.
Right.
Lengthwise. The worst area is from 500 feet east of Martin Road going down 1,500 feet to 19. The stretch is right in the middle of the road.
There's no crown property anymore.
There's some areas that are flat, and that's what's a big part of the center, that area, is there is no crown. The water doesn't shed off, so the water gets under the layers. And it just, there's no putting it back. But when asking just what your thoughts are about that, we stand in a good place, like I told you, we didn't, the way the budget was set up last year to pull $250,000 to make things balance. We didn't pull any money out of fund balance, we put money back, about 64,000 back. So we have not been touching our fund balance. So the money's there to do that.
I just think we should do it, we can do a resolution,
That's what I was gonna ask Maureen. I mean,
put out a fund.
do we need a resolution to do this right now, or not until we actually use it?
Actually, you use it.
Until he actually uses it,
Yeah.
that's when we.
Well, yeah, you need a resolution to do it, but
Right.
you don't have to do it right this second.
Right.
Yeah.
You just, let's say, go ahead and do it, and then do the resolution later on when the project is done or whatever.
How long do you think this will last for?
Well, the county has done, they did all of Lawrence Road last year, which doesn't speak much for lifespan, but Lawton Road, prior to that, the town of Clarkson did, the road that crosses between 19 and 260, just north of the highway department. They did that about 3.5 years ago. Lawton was before that, and they really did it very well. Then you go back to your other processes. When you get wheel tracking, you would shim it and you would surface treat it. Certainly will require the same preventive maintenance as anything else, but the big thing is that you're making one road again. You're getting rid of all the different layers that are in there. I don't know how, we've been down that road so many times with the grader in the time I've been here.
What did they forecast, 8 to 10?
Yeah, I think before preventive maintenance again, yes.
Right. I mean, that's what the people, the asphalt people, everybody, I think, forecast. So, it's town board. I mean, I think right now we just give them okay or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Does any other person have any other thing for discussion before we go into the discussion items?
Again, are we gonna set a date for the zoning board interviews?
We can, I haven't received anything yet from the court. How many we end up with?
3, right?
2.
Two.
The only reason why I'm saying, at the zoning board meeting, then.
Oh, I wasn't here.
Yeah,
I don't know, I was just wondering if we're here, we ought to try and set a date, or,
we can, that'll be for next week, try to set a date.
Want to do it?
Next week isn't a workshop, but we shouldn't wait for that, we gotta get somebody on the zoning board.
yeah, and we'll see if that could make it also, probably would always invite the chairman.
Absolutely, right.
The next zoning workshop, February 19th.
I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying, that we want to do it, so.
Want like the 5th?
For your town board meeting, right?
Yeah, we only got 2, should be 2.
From the 9th.
I can try, see, we can try it tonight.
See if they can,
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess a lot contingent on whether they can.
Right. Do you want a backup date?
Nah, we'll tell them it's that date. Tell them you want to be on the board show at
Yeah.
date. Excuse me.
Well, yeah, not usually
get the names, whatever is in the clerk. Okay, it'll be at like 6 o'clock then, we'll give them, hopefully it won't take too long to interview each person, there's only two and it won't take too long. But hopefully just like 15 minutes or so for each person. But this place starts filling up a little bit before the board meeting and everything, so we probably want to say 6 so we can get done a bit earlier. I got a few discussions. Vouchers, I know we talked about it, nothing was written down. So, gonna have something written down, probably tomorrow, and send it out to everybody. For our bills, I guess it came up here last week. The vouchers were trying to be turned in, and the girls said they can't do it that late, they just can't, when they're trying to get them in and get them in time. So, what the office wants is to have the vouchers in by a Wednesday, and, or by, at the latest Thursday at noon time.
For a Monday meeting?
Well, for both meetings, because it's gonna be, otherwise, it's gonna get confusing. Okay, so, or even the second.
So like Wednesday to Wednesday meeting, and then Wednesday for Mondays, right, is that what you're saying?
Right, Wednesday with Thursday by noon for both meetings. Because if you start, well, this meeting's gonna be this time, this meeting's gonna be that time, people are gonna start forgetting. Not just set one time, have it in by then, you know. Is that okay with the board? Have it in Wednesday, and I know there's some straggler, Thursday at noon for the board meeting, for both board meetings. Okay. Paychecks. They called us. They would like to start doing our healthcare, be our brokers. No, before anybody, I don't want to even talk to them about it yet. They talked to Megan. They called her up and talked to her. If we're having problems in 4 or 5 months with our broker we have now, I would say, all right, we can talk to them. If everything is going smooth and everything, and I don't want to rock the boat again, if everything is going nice, I don't want to rock the boat. I mean, they seem like they can do a nice job, but like I said, if everything is, I know right now is a little tough time, but if everything is going smooth by, let's quit changing things and rocking the boat. So I'm just letting you know that they called, that's all.
Yeah, as soon as you change again, then all the shenanigans start all over.
I
It's
understand.
like a whole.
Yep.
Paychex is still trying to figure out the mess up they made from the other.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't
Yes.
there problems with paychecks?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We don't need more problems, but.
But, so like I say, we'll,
Well, in my understanding, they did our, before my time, but they did our personnel stuff too, and for whatever reason, they don't do that anymore.
the HR stuff,
HR,
ooh, yeah, I can tell you why you don't do it anymore.
yeah.
It was like $6,000 a year. So the board went and stopped doing it because of money issues. It was terribly, it was like, wow. Okay, no, that's fine.
There's something else might be in
Nope, that's fine, I was just letting you know they called, that's all.
Are there still healthcare and paycheck issues going on currently? Or is everything?
I believe healthcare
I
is
think
set.
healthcare is all set from all the people I've talked to.
Well, and Megan told me today that Paychex is, she's just trying to get it all squared away with our books, but that should be finally done, but it's been a few weeks since she talked to 13 different people.
Yeah.
Right, for the budget, or the money issue.
Don't we have a designee, one person?
Yes, but if that, so the way she explained it to me today is, your rep that she normally talks to, if they don't answer her back in a certain amount of time, it automatically puts them into somebody from India to talk to. And then they get involved, and finally, after multiple emails and calls back, she finally got back in touch with our rep. Playing phone tag with them, and then went back to India again, or wherever, and then,
It's some names that I can't even pronounce.
yeah. Which should be straightened out, but it's been a long road.
Yeah,
I don't know if the family leave are still, that's still.
that's still a little bit, yeah.
So nobody's been refunded that yet, I understand.
That's what she's looking
Yeah.
History building. I talked to the construction guy. He said first week in March. I talked to Mike about getting a trailer to put the stuff in. I don't know if he's got any place yet or.
Just got an answer today, so it was, $160 each way for trucking, so $220. And then the rent is only $140 for a 4-week period. So it was
That's
under
pretty-
$800 to have it for 2 months. And he has one,
Is
I
that,
gave him a date of February 16th,
that's a 40-footer?
that's 45.
Okay.
So he's just waiting on, I told him I would talk to you about it tonight, yeah, so that was, February 16th, nothing, so we had it there for 2 weeks prior to construction, depending where the committee is over there, we could get it, I'm sure we could get it a week sooner if we wanted it. I thought that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah. And we still got time that, like I said, they're not gonna start the work till March.
How long do they figure it's gonna take?
I think it was at least 3 to 4 weeks. By the time, paint dries and then the sealing tile and everything. And spackle and stuff that they wanna fix, it's plaster walls, they wanna fix that, and they're not just putting on drywall.
Me either, but,
I don't know yet.
They call it help with the debt.
I know, I just need times and days or whatever.
So Dave has been, just letting the committee know, I will open the door, open and put them go. And help, so there is, whenever you're available, you can help. Which is kind of Dave.
Okay.
To the doors, unlock. People that go in at random times.
Probably at the end of the day, how much they have.
I did tell them to make a garbage pile inside and label it trash so that you would know if there was anything. It's like moldy books and stuff that they've come across on bookshelves. So
Right.
a lot more garbage. They actually asked me if you can use dumpsters, but I don't know if they want to put dumpsters. Steve, did you ask the contractor about the 2 parking?
Not yet, no. Cause I wanna meet them over there before I ask.
Okay, so there's one second request is the ceiling, so, I know he wants to do a drop ceiling.
Yes.
Can we get a quote for like a faux in ceiling? Just more of like the era of the history building, and I know it's gonna be more expensive, but I think my thoughts are if we're in there doing work, I don't foresee this building getting torn apart and everything put in pots anytime soon, so I think, again, like, if we're gonna do it, we should do it right, and I think it would be so much nicer and so much representative of the era if we did like a faux tin ceiling.
Like the copper one.
Yeah,
I can ask them.
if we could quote that, just so we could see it. Right,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot more, but, and it's gonna be more. Fun.
Okay.
And then I have paint colors, do you want me to send it to you? And just send it to you, like, they can show me numbers.
Yeah, send them to me and I'll send them over to him.
Alright, and if you do meet him down there, if you wanna let Dave know. and any, you know, type of discussions.
Okay.
There's gonna be a group of people packing stuff up or whatever. He can just email that out to the board. 'Cause Otherwise, it'll be out of sight, out of mind, not forget about it, so, you know, if there's a group of people or we're helping, just shoot out an email and then,
I think the second and fourth Sunday he's been, because we're gonna be closed for the public, obviously. But, from 2 to 4, or I think he was doing various times, but the second and fourth Sundays when we did have those hours, but he usually sends us a text, I'll just send the board an email.
Yeah. okay, thank you.
Cameras. We contacted, yeah, West Fire, thank you. And they came out, and talked to me once, and I invited Kaylee to be with her too for out at her building, because she was in trouble getting in contact with them. They are coming back again this Friday, bringing their electrician out, because I want them to kind of do it all work, I don't want to piece out, have our electrician do it, and also have them come in and do stuff, I really did it all. So maybe by we're supposed to have quotes by our next meeting, so we can vote on it or whatever. So it's still on hold right now. AEDs, I got a quote on them through the people that can do it. They also do our medicine cabinets. Their quote is to take care of that. They put a new one, their own new one out there and then take care of it monthly. And it would be $150 a month per unit. So that's $450 a month. I thought that was a little bit extravagant.
So what's
So
do you need new machines, or what's the issue?
And you know, you have to do the court in the library too.
No, I know, but
You still have to
where's
maintain
this?
them.
No, they won't maintain our machines, they put their own out there. Our machines are working and everything, right?
The maintenance, is this just like someone doing a monthly check, is that what?
The maintenance and it's a lease, because you're leasing the machine from
Oh, you're not
them.
buying the
They're not
equipment,
buying it.
okay.
No, you're leasing the brand new machine from them,
But we own these, correct?
yes.
I wouldn't try using one now, if you don't know.
No, the batteries are all, they did look at them. And all the pads, this one is actually good. The other ones have a couple of issues, the other two, but I mean, you can still use them. I contacted the fire department and the ambulance service. And they contacted their, flight, Mercy Flight, to see if, when they have their stuff done, if they can come here and do ours too or whatever. So I just got contacted again this afternoon. The head guy out here, Adam, went in and contacted them, and so they're gonna give him an answer, he'll give me an answer. So,
Here, the court.
Yep, the library.
library.
Who
Well,
does
then
it
there's
now?
the rec one on the
No one.
daycare too.
Nobody's been making,
So-
no, Kaylee was doing the one here.
Kaylee was doing the one here, but, right, yeah,
But nobody does the court?
no,
At all?
no,
Nobody does the library?
no.
Doesn't Cintas also look at those like they do here?
They kinda look at them, but they don't fix
They
them, or
check
they
the
don't,
pads and
they look
see
at
if
them,
they're
but,
expired.
yeah. But not doing anything with them.
I mean, the cost of a new, you could get a new machine for whatever, how much are they gonna charge, 400?
Well, for the three, it'd be $450 a month.
Yeah, I mean, you could get an AED for 1,500, 1,600,
The mill.
yeah. So, that seems,
Right, but I'm just like, I have,
and Mercy would do 3 of them?
that's what we're checking into right now, yes. Whoever does theirs,
Yeah,
to see if they would come up, or whoever does the fire department.
yeah,
Because the fire department has theirs done too,
yeah.
the ones that they carry with them, so since they're both right here and we're affiliated kind of with both of them, I'm checking with those right now. And that is my discussion piece, does anybody else have?
couple of things. I did reach out to Scott from Mercy Boy, I asked him for, how they made out with getting a financial report from last year, and also, updated contract. You know, we have one, but, you know, it's still a couple of years old now, so.
Right.
Blake's working on that. I have an employee handbook now that we were gonna talk about last meeting, so I'll start going through it. What I can see, I just don't know what has changed in there, but I'm just gonna at least go through it so I can have an idea of what's kind of like outdated. And then I'll be meeting with Haley about the job description that we talked about. And then coming up with an action plan for any incidents that might happen on our property. So it goes from like probably Steve and works its way down. The hard part is because this is so, like, part of it's highway, part of it's recreation, part of it's the library, you know what I mean? So depending on what area gets affected by damage or vandalism or whatever, so we have a system in place for who to call, who's getting a report, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's not gonna happen tomorrow, but it will, that's the plan I got. And then, I know we talked about it today, but we want to talk about the grant writing for the kennel and all that, how that ended up.
No grant writer? We don't need.
We do have a grant writer again, yes.
So who, was it MRB that was doing the grants for the dog kennel? Who paid them to do that?
Yes.
Oh, that grant writing.
Some, no, well, for the, we paid them to start the dump, we actually tried to get the grant and it was, but in all fairness, nobody in the Finger Lakes region, all the counties, nobody got a grant up this way. All those grants went down the state. All the millions of dollars went down the state. So, it's like, I mean, Rack City, last year, everybody applied all in this Finger Lakes area, and everybody got turned down. The other grant, like I say, I had a different, they had never written a grant, so I hired, and she hasn't charged a penny yet. She's gonna probably charge us if she gets a grant or whatever. But she has written these grants for like at least 6 different people in New York City, so sometimes there's one every one of them. So she knows what she's doing with these grants.
But these are mandates, right, out of that, in the
Yes.
markets to do change, make these changes to the dog park. There's not grants available, I don't have a, that's
Right.
a mandated change. If
Right.
you can't get it funded.
You know,
It's not
MRB, so I had them doing the architectural work. I was told later on that it wasn't gonna happen this year by them because they have never written one of these for a kennel before, not really sure they had asked questions or anything, and it wasn't gonna be done this year.
So I guess,
So that's what kind of put us in a backwards too, because I was waiting for months and the other to do it, and I was told. So then I called the lady up who's writing the grants, and she does have an architect who has done kennels before. So I said, all right, give me your architect.
But is there funding available? That's what I'm saying. So if they're returned down for funding, all these places,
For the gymnasium and everything.
oh, not for,
Not for the dog kennels haven't been awarded yet, no. But it's kind of too late for this one. There's already money in the budget. The governor, there's money for next year for the same thing to come up again this next fall for the kennel, yes.
so did we pay MRB to do anything for the kennel?
We did.
So if they came back and said, well, we've never done this before and we don't know what we're doing, can they refund us our money? Because I'm not sure what we paid them. What did we pay them?
For maybe starting stuff. I don't know if you're gonna get money back from Maureen.
Yeah, they didn't do the work that you hired them to do, why did you, it's
I
like
mean, we
any
didn't pay 'em.
retainer.
We didn't pay them a lot, I don't believe, but I can check into
You
it.
would have to ask them for an invoice of what they did and how much they charged you. And if you gave them a retainer for $5,000 and they only did $3,000 work, they need to give you the $2,000 back.
Right, okay. I understand that, okay. So we can check into that.
I think very, I mean, few towns will just start not having dog shelters, like
Well, my question is, too, and I don't know if it's even possible, but should we be checking with the town of Greece to just build a $1.7 million dog shelter with more fiscally responsible? The answer to ag and markets rules and regulations, it seems like every year we're just spending money to satisfy ag and markets. And is it ever gonna end?
Right, because we're averaging, what, 3 to 6 dogs a month, it's not even. That was for the whole area, that's.
When you get done with the time and the maintenance and input and the cost to the town, and maybe Greece wouldn't even accept it, I have no idea, but I would think it.
You can do it in a municipal agreement, just like the Hamlin has with the other towns.
It would be worth looking into anyways before you get.
Because I'm
Too
actually
far down
working
the
with
road.
them right now with Parma.
Are they probably doing something?
That's gonna go.
With Greece, yeah.
They're
We're
probably
gonna use
doing
we're
it.
gonna use their animal services, so. They're gonna be our dog catcher.
Because they're about the same amount of dogs, right, but because we were going,
Right.
like, right, or, no, we were getting Clarkson.
You get Clarkson, Sweden.
Right.
Rockport, Ogden.
Ogden,
and
yeah.
Parma.
It's not that many, it's 3 to 6.
Yeah.
Dogs, so you're right, I mean, if you want to be fiscally responsible, you continue.
If they can take that many dogs that Greece can, because we just picked up Parma, plus all their own.
I think we'd have to see how much they charge.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think-
Yeah.
You'd have to do
Right.
some.
Yeah.
And then average it over years. I mean, the reason we went with the shelter to begin with was because we were boarding dogs. That was the whole reason why we changed the model. We used to board dogs at Pheasant Creek, and that was just way expensive. Like, we were putting all this money into boarding. We said, well, let's open our own shelter because we're gonna save all that money. I don't know, I guess maybe, I talked to Dave and he said we really don't, there are a lot of regulations coming out, but we don't lose money technically. So I guess we would really have to do the numbers. Like you said, we, are usually pretty good between donations. Speaking of which, by the way, which reminds me, the Chamber of Commerce met and the Hamlin Farm Hilton Chamber of Commerce, and we are gonna dissolve, but there's some financial things that need to happen first as far as like tallying up, like year-end financials, to see what their net is and not more of it. But they think it's gonna be around 5,000 to 6,000. I think it's gonna be transferred to the Hilton Education Foundation, but I asked if they would donate a portion, to Hamlin, so they're donating $1,000 to the shelter.
That's good. But also, we gotta think too, if we also go to Greece, then the other places have to find something too, and- which is not our concern, but.
No, I mean, there's a lot of things to weigh out. I'm just trying to look at all the options. I'm not, if it's feasible, okay. If it's not, that's okay. It seems like in the last 5 years, ag and markets just keep pounding down mandates and you gotta keep swallowing. And, after a while,
It seems like no matter what we've done down there, it's never really good.
Right.
The regulations.
and where's the end of that? It's- If there are no further business, I made a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Like,
Hey, Liz.
Oh, like you're,
Oh, maybe I
pick
did.
up pizza.
What time do they pick it up, 7:30?
I didn't even
Famous
hear it.
last words, my friend.
Sorry.
Famous last words.
They've already scheduled
It's
it.
joint
They've already-
I'll just switch